Warren, so we've seen outside the building.
Yeah.
We've seen the lorries that bring produce in, take produce out, and then this is where it all happens. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, yeah. This is we're carrot line and we're parsnip line. So this is where they come in, raw material, obviously dirty crop.
Yeah.
They're washed, cooled, polished, and then packed, and then obviously go into the cold store where they're loaded and out to depot. There's
loads going on. It's a bit of a, like, it messes with my mind a little bit, just seeing kind of all the machinery, all the people. But I guess this is the end-to-end.
Yeah.
From carrots coming in from the field to carrots going out, and we're going to see that shortly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people working down there. How many?
Yeah, we've down there. There'll probably be 150, 2 shifts of that. And then altogether, lorry drivers on the farm with in the region of about 700.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of people.
And in terms of operation, is it 24/7? Or is it?
Yeah, well, 24/7, 24/5 basically.
Yeah.
Weekends we try and not work as far as packing, but as far as delivering and that never stops. You know? That is 24/7, but the packing we try and get done in 5 days.
And is that better for you to do it in 5 days? What's the reason for that?
It's just easier, you know, if the staff have a weekend off, they come in refreshed in the morning, and it just works better. Yeah. And everybody gets a weekend off, and we can go stock car racing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I can see, so stood in front of us now, we've got parsnips, and then I can see carrots over there. So it's 2 completely separate operations?
Yeah, we can sort of do parsnip on the carrot line, and we can do carrot on the parsnip line, but basically we tend to keep them separate. But for whatever needs, we can do one on the other.
And we're hopefully going to show me, I think we're all going to go and see like the end to end where it comes in.
Yeah.
My last question, so colleagues that are working on your floor, do they prefer carrots or parsnips? Which one do they prefer to work on?
I don't know. I mean, I said there's 300 people in there. If you want to ask them all, you can.
We'll say in the morning when they're coming in, like, you're on carrots, you're on parsnips.
No, they just get used to the working where they're working, and they just, go to that designated place. And some staff we do move about. Some staff that ask for a change in a different role or a different job.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody tends to know where the workplace is first off in the morning.
Yeah. Right, I want to see how this works. So can we go and...
Yeah, we're going to have a look in there. Yeah.
Brilliant. Warren.
Yeah.
Right, we've walked through to get to the beginning.
Yeah.
It's amazing, so much machinery. It reminds me of like what behind the scenes of Alton Towers must look like.
Yeah.
You know, the log flume, there's like water everywhere, there's like... But where are we now?
Well, this is where all the bulkers come in from the field.
Yeah.
So we've got obviously parsnips on this line and carrot on that line.
Yeah.
And that's how they come in basically straight from the field. They're harvested, then they're put over a cleaner which takes any excess soil out.
Yeah.
So this is the start of it basically.
So this is the start of like parsnips coming into Hunterpac.
Yeah.
They're very dirty. Is that dirty?
No, that's not dirty, no. Because at the minute the weather's relatively dry.
Yeah.
So, they get a lot dirtier than that.
Okay, so we've got 2 separate lines, 1 parsnip, 1 carrot.
Yeah.
And which one we're looking at first?
We'll look at the parsnip line first.
Okay, what's he doing now?
So basically they wash them out of the trailer.
Right, okay. Don't tip it up?
No, we don't tip it up. No, wash them out to save any damage or bruising.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So we'll switch it on now.
Is that his job?
One of his jobs.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a good job, that.
Yeah.
See, I said it was like Alton Towers, though.
Yeah. Log flume.
So, initial thoughts already, a lot of water.
Yeah.
Is it do you recycle it on site? Or
yeah, we recycle it on site, use it as long as we can.
Yeah.
And then we pump it to a lagoon and then we process it through like a water plant.
Okay, well that's yours or that's...
Yeah, yeah.
Right, okay. And then it comes back into the building?
Some of it comes back into the building and some of it we put in a ditch and it obviously goes, you know, once it's cleaned obviously, it goes back out to sea obviously.
Okay, amazing, brilliant.
So then here we've got this de-stoner, so basically the product floats on the top because of a current that's underneath and the stones fall down and then they come up on that elevator there, if there is any stones.
Yeah. So stage 1, wash out the truck.
Then get rid of any stones.
Any stones, right, okay. Go round in that big thing and then head off over in that direction.
Into this salt tank, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then here, yeah, they're in the salt tank. Particularly with parsnips, well carrots as well, but particularly parsnips, if you can soak them in water, when you do try and, you know, polish them and get the final dirt off, it obviously comes off easier.
Right, so you've got the stones out, they're in this bit now, so what's happening with it now? So they're sitting here waiting to go up on their little escalator.
Yeah, and basically, you know, they're soaking in water.
Right, okay, just to give them another clean.
Give them another clean, but soften the earth that's attached to them.
Makes sense. Okay. So how many tonnage of parsnip is in one wagon?
Roughly about 26 tons, something like 26, 27 tons.
Okay. So that's got 27 tons of parsnips on it, and how many wagons per day will you process into the factory?
Parsnips on a normal week, probably 4 or 5 loads a day.
Okay.
But at Christmas and at Easter, that's probably 15 to 20 a day. Okay.
So Easter's the first kind of big event that's coming up then. So how far out are you increasing the amount of produce coming into the building? So like Easter's on a Saturday, Sunday, isn't it? So is it a week before, 2 weeks before?
Yeah, we're probably, you know, like 5 days, 6 days in front.
Yeah.
So, you know, the big orders for us will start the Monday before Easter.
Yeah.
So, you know, week and before 5 days in front from that Monday, you know.
Yeah. It's a quite short turnaround time though, isn't it? That reactive piece to what supermarkets are wanting. 7 days to go, there's my order, I want it on my shelves. It's quite a short turnaround.
Well, it's the uplift. I mean, that's what a lot of people can't understand is at Christmas and at Easter, the uplift on, say, carrot, parsnip is just huge, massive, you know what I mean? Parsnips can go, you know, 8, 9-fold. It's incredible.
I mean, I see the output of that, you know, in my job, my normal job, working in a supermarket, I see the volumes that we, you know, at Christmas and Easter, so I see what you're doing. So I get that, absolutely. Okay, so we've done this bit here, so let's go to the next stage of the process.
So yeah, they go through like a series of salt tanks and basically like buffer tanks. Obviously, when we get them on the line, we've got to get the flow right. So basically, that's what's happening here. This machine is taking any excess top off and any bits of, you know, straw or weed or whatever. Yeah. So slowly and slowly, they're becoming, you know, cleaner and cleaner.
Yeah. So yeah, becoming more that product that we see. In our bag at the supermarket when we buy it.
Yeah.
But if you always see the difference from down there to there, already you can see actually they look like what we buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we go through the hydro cooler,
Yes.
which is basically very cold water dropping on the parsnips to, you know, start taking the heat out of them.
So why is that important?
Well, it's to keep the freshness in them, and you know, to give them shelf life, obviously. Although they got to, we'd store them in a cold store after. To try and get heat out of them now is, you know, you need more than one process to get it out.
Yeah. So you know, when I buy a packet of parsnips from the supermarket, I've got a best before date on them. So roughly, you know, it's come out of the lorry onto your conveyor belt. What's its shelf life from at that point? Are they all pretty much the same, or is it, how do you gauge that?
Well, it's all what the customer wants.
Yeah.
So we, you know, sort of sell by dates. It's agreed with the customer as to what we print on the packaging.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. And we're going to talk about carrots in a minute. Do parsnips have a shorter life than carrots?
In some ways, yeah. But most parsnip packaging is what they call modified atmosphere, so it does tend to keep them whiter longer.
Right, okay.
There's no gases or anything, it's just how the polythene breathes, that's all it is.
Very scientific, this process.
Yeah. It's very technical.
It is,
yeah.
but you know what I mean? You just think, oh, you take parsnips out of the ground, and you absolutely don't. There's so much that's already gone into the finished product.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been made cold in this tank here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they've come all the way around there, and now they're going up into here.
They're coming up here, and this is the feed to the polisher, basically.
Yeah.
Which is like the final polish to get them as clean as we can.
Yeah. So they've still got the tops and the bottoms on, and they still look like they came out of the ground just a bit cleaner. So once they've gone through the polisher, there's obviously another step after that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to tidy them up.
And why is it being tidied up? Just because that's what the customer wants? Or?
That's what the customer wants, yeah.
Right, so it's going up there, being polished. They do look very different now.
Yeah.
Very shiny.
Yeah,
and polished.
A lot whiter, yeah.
So what's in that machine to make it do that?
It's just a series of brushes that are spinning round. Like a car wash, if you will, you know.
Yeah. Do you get cross when you see the odd carrot that's dropped in there? You're like, what's he doing in there?
No, it's just no.
Okay, been polished.
Yeah.
And then they go up to
then over the crown grader. Yeah, basically a series of rollers that the top one, every so often it lifts up.
Right.
So it makes the gap between the top one and the bottom one bigger.
Right.
So you end up with your small parsnips dropping out here and your large parsnips dropping out over there. So that's what gives you your crown grading.
So why do you want big parsnips over there and little parsnips over here?
Well, again, it's whatever the customer wants.
Right, okay.
So there we'll be doing baby parsnips, and then, you know, right at the end, some might be too big for certain customers and they'll go for processing, you know.
Oh, okay. So they've been cleaned, washed, polished, and now we're sizing the parsnips depending on what we're going to pack them in for.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just what this is doing. That's as easy as that.
Yeah.
So all these different conveyor belts that are going off there. So that lady over there is doing the small one, and then we're all going to different places.
Then they all go. So these are all the different sizes now.
Yeah.
So the staff are basically, you know, tidying them up.
Okay. So that's top off, bottom off.
Yeah.
And do they do every single parsnip that goes past, or just a select?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we try and do as much in the field as we can, but you know, you've always got to tidy them up. Certain times of the year we have to hand trim them before they get here, and then sometimes we find it easier to send them down to the grading line, which this is, and then we do them here, you know. So
why are they chucking them in the middle?
They're waste, basically. Ones that aren't good enough.
And how do they determine what's not good enough?
Well, again, it's the, you know, what the customer wants.
Okay, so if it's like looks a bit funny, or
It's got bruising on it, or for whatever reason it's forked, and then we obviously they go through to a different line that we have like a misshapes, and, wonky, whatever. You know what I mean?
and do they still get sold on?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost so waste is a minimal.
Yeah,
output.
waste is minimal, probably less than it's ever been, you know.
Yeah.
And then after the wonky, there's different lines of processing that we do.
Yeah.
To cut down on wastage.
To this point here, you know, it's all been quite mechanical, quite, you know, everything's doing the job for you. When you get to this bit, it seems very labour intensive.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, very labour intensive, and you know, less so than years ago. But you know, we as yet there's no machine that we can do that's affordable to do what we want it to do.
Yeah. Obviously, I was going to say, you know, the biggest cost for you guys is labour, isn't it? You pay people's wages.
Yeah.
And I guess you want it to be as streamlined, as efficient as possible. The machine's doing it, but if the machine doesn't do it, then this is what needs to happen to get that product out.
Yeah.
No, it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Right, so it's going on there. Okay, then where do we go next?
Well, they then go to be packed.
Yeah.
But if we go and have a look at the carrot line now,
yeah,
and then probably walk through the carrot line.
Amazing.
All right.
So Warren,
on the carrot line.
Right. So initial thoughts from me are a lot more carrots than parsnips.
Yeah, a lot more sold. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And is that why? Just because that's the volume that you need from the customer? You know, you need more carrots.
Yeah. It's sold for the customer and what people want. Probably we sell 7-8 times more carrot than we do parsnip.
Okay. And in terms of you dealing with carrots and parsnips, are carrots easier to deal with than the parsnips, or are they very similar?
Certain times of the year, yeah, and then other times of the year, no. I think generally carrots are easier to manage, probably easier to grow than parsnip. But yeah, they both have difficult times of the year. So
I like it that we're putting almost human emotions on the carrots and parsnips.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been around them too long.
Absolutely. So you've got a close relationship with them.
Yeah, it gets a bit like that, yeah.
Sorry. So, carrots have come in, very similar to parsnips, and they're then going up the conveyor belt.
Yeah, and then first process is to take any loose sort of top off, any straw, and then they go through the first wash, which is what we call a brush washer.
Yeah,
which is,
that's that. That's just to get the top level of dirt out the carrots.
Yeah.
How old, right? These machines are incredibly impressive. How old are they? Are they?
The line is the parsnip line's probably 20 years old. This carrot line's probably 15 years old. But obviously, it's not like it was when we first put it in. It's you know, we take parts out, we make new ones, so it's not really the original line as it was, you know.
So a bit like when you've got a stock car and then you upgrade it and you put a back axle in it.
It ends up not the line that you set off with on the car, you know.
Absolutely. Okay.
So then they come out of here. So you'll see them getting sort of clearer and cleaner.
I suppose, you know, like when we look at the parsnips and now look at the carrots, they look a lot sort of cleaner and almost ready to go as opposed to the parsnips in on that sort of stage one of the journey.
And then through the polishes then.
Right, okay. Good.
So we've got 3 polishers on carrots.
Yeah.
They're all in a line here, so the carrots are basically, you know, divided into 3. And then they all come and they all meet back here to go through the hydrocooler.
So the hydrocooler, the cooling process again.
Yeah.
So we've seen them come from around there where they've been cleaned, gone into these here now.
Yeah.
And you said they're divided into 3. Is that by size or weight or just
as they come, as volume.
Okay. So at this point we're seeing now then, are these ready to eat? As in, would you eat them at this point?
No, because you know, any carrot you buy from the supermarket, you should wash it fresh.
Yeah.
Really. But there's a final rinse after this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it will be up to you whether you want to eat one or not.
I don't, but I get you doing them. I just raising my. Where are we on their journey from being ready to go to the customer?
More or less, you know, getting it to the final stages.
Yeah. Okay. So what temperature are they kind of coming out at in there? What's the sort of temperature of the carrot?
Well, today probably 14, 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, obviously in summer, you know, we've had carrots coming in at 28 degrees, you know, so it varies a lot on the weather outside.
And you say they need to be cooler, same as parsnips, to maintain shelf life.
Yeah.
So what's the ideal temperature you kind of want carrots to be at?
Well, when we deliver them to depot, you know, we like them to be around, you know, 7, 8 degrees.
It's a lot to bring it down though, isn't it? From like a summer temperature to that.
For the volume involved, huge,
Okay, let's go have a look at the next stage of the process.
Yeah. So yeah, again, like parsnips through the hydrocooler.
Yeah. And this is bringing that temperature right down.
Yeah. Before they go in the cold stuff.
I think the volume. I mean, I not really knew what to expect. You know, from the outside looking in. I'm genuinely surprised at the volume of carrots that you're kind of dealing with. Like just now, since we've been here, it's just vast.
Well, you know, people are, and I think. Not just carrots, any food, you know, there's, 70 million people in this country.
Yeah.
Take a lot of feeding, you know what I mean? Huge amount.
Because you have no idea. Like I say, stood outside, there's Huntapac, they get carrots and put them in bags.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, but like I say, it's just tons of stuff, it's just everywhere. Right, okay, so they're getting cold.
Yeah. So basically they're held in this buffer tank and then pulled up to be go through the crown grader.
Right. So what's up there, say?
Crown grader.
Okay. And what's
same as we did on parsnip.
Okay.
To do the sizing.
Yeah. And then they're going up there sort of quite slowly, just because it's just the capacity on the other side.
Whatever feed, you know, we can speed that up and slow it down, whatever speed we want it to go. So and they're over the crown grade, and basically the same as the parsnips. The top roller keeps lifting up, so you get your different sizes. Yeah.
We know when you sit up here, I think we're at the highest point pretty much of your factory. It's carrots. Everywhere I'm looking, it's just carrots.
Yeah. A lot of carrots.
It's a daft thing to say, but it is. It just. It's impressive. Really, really impressive. I think it's just the way that you've got the machines doing this and that. And very, very good.
It's exciting to you.
I know.
To me, it's boring.
Is
but
it?
Do
you? How often do you come down here?
Oh, I'm in here every day. Oh yeah. 2-3 times a day. Yeah, at least.
But doing what? You're in charge of all of this. I get this is yours, but what are you doing when you come down here and walk around?
Just making things, you know, things that me and the team want them to be, and thinking of how we can better things, change things. And I like being, you know, I'm not really an office person. I like being involved.
Yeah.
You know? So
what's a bad day Is it a bad day when the production line stops, or?
Yeah, when we get a bad breakdown or can't harvest because of the weather. Yeah, I think that's the big difference in what we do is we're so reliant on the weather. You know, the weather can, not in just harvesting it and growing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, the weather, huge.
Are you obsessed with like the weather apps and BBC weather then? Are you watching it every day?
No, not I used to, but no, because it does whatever it wants anyway.
Yeah,
So you can't.
You're important, but you're not God.
No. If I could control the weather, I wouldn't be growing carrots.
Okay, let's have a look next bit.
So then here we've got all the different sizes.
Okay.
So larger here and all the way down, they go smaller and smaller basically.
Yeah.
Some of them we've got going over camera graders, which save on staff. Very expensive machines, but basically the carrot, each carrot goes over a machine, and basically it's got a camera all the way around. It takes whatever photographs of the carrot and then decides is it good enough or not.
In terms of quality,
size, length, so on. Yeah.
And so some of this work that these ladies down here are doing is done by a machine.
Yeah.
But not all of it. Is that because it's very expensive, so you don't want, you can't afford?
Yeah, we've got 3 now camera graders, and we've got 5 lines.
Yeah.
So with 2 of the lines without camera graders on. The trouble is that technology is advancing so fast. If you go and buy a camera grader now, and they're probably in the region of £500,000, within a month it's old-fashioned.
Right, okay.
So, you know, although we are purchasing them, it does put you off a bit because they seem not the most modern, if you know what I mean.
Understand. Okay.
All right.
This one's the camera one.
Yeah.
And that's obviously got no people working on it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's got some further down the line there.
Right.
But the camera grader is doing a lot, you know.
Yeah. And where is that sighted? Where you've got those lights on the top, green, yellow, and...
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look.
So basically, this part of it is lining the carrots up, because obviously you need to get every carrot where another carrot isn't touching it, and by the time it goes through there,
that's
all the carrots
clever.
singulated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the photographs take, and then it basically decides whether it's good enough or not.
That's very clever. I like that. Yeah. It's like they're having racers. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once it gets to the other side, that's when
yeah, you still got to do the, you know, have the staff for that final check.
Okay. Okay, so once they've been to here, they kind of go in round there.
Well, these are, but basically they carry forward and then they're put in bags, weighed and put in bags.
Right. Let's go have a look at that bit now.
Yeah, we'll go around there.
Yeah. Down the stairs to go and look at the finished product, and we spoke about the minimising waste and what happens to the ones that kind of go off. Waste inspection point there.
Yeah, and then basically all the waste is graded again, and then it comes once it's been graded, and this is the wonky range for whatever customer wants wonky, which most of them do now.
Yeah, I think people are very much in this day and age are aware of waste and not kind of throwing things into landfill, and so absolutely it's the right thing to do, isn't it?
And of course, you know, with anyone, it tastes the same. It's only the appearance.
Yeah. We should never judge people for how they look, should we, Warren? We're all good on the inside, aren't we?
Exactly, you would say that.
I'm not offended. No. Right, let's go to the end bit.
So yeah, then we got obviously a weigher up top.
Yeah.
So the weighed, and then basically packaged. This is a foam filler.
Yeah.
The film comes on a roll and it makes a tube and then cuts them off at a designated length. And then over the check weigher to check that the weight is correct once again. And then crated up
and this is what we see when we go to Tesco's, Asda, Co-op, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Finished product.
That's it.
So end to end, we started where the lorry brought the carrots in from the field.
Yeah.
We've walked the line and got to the end of it where it's now being packed. So what's the time from lorry to the man there putting him in a box?
20 minutes. 20 minutes, half an hour, yeah.
Not long, is it?
No.
And in terms of, we spoke when we were talking about parsnips about customer demand, which is driven obviously predominantly by supermarkets.
Yeah.
So do the orders go up every day, or is it like a similar forecast throughout the course of a week? Like you know roughly what you're looking to pack?
Yeah, with a good idea. Obviously, the weather plays a big part because if it starts going cold, sales go up. If it goes warm, sales start coming down, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've a good idea what they're going to be every week, yeah.
And in terms of like today, so are you guys tracking how you're doing from a...
Yeah, production-wise, where we're up to, what we're going to produce today, and so on and so on, yeah.
And at most days, you're hitting your targets, or is it fluctuate? You talked about weather dependent, or your lines breaking down, but on most days quite consistent we get there every day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously breakdowns hinder us, like I said before, weather. But yeah, we always like to be producing more than what we are, or do it quicker, but but yeah, we're not far off the targets, but it's so weather dependent.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So once we've gotten to the point where they're in bags, going in crates, where does it go now? Because I see over there thousands of crates. So what happens?
Well, obviously this is only one line of. I think we've got 8 down here.
Yeah.
So we'll just walk down to them. So yeah, there's all the different lines.
Yep.
Obviously where carrots are coming off for different customers.
Yes. So do you predominantly deal with supermarkets, like your big names, or do you do restaurants, do you do markets?
A few restaurants and that, but all the volumes really with supermarkets,
Yeah. Okay.
And Tesco being, by far our biggest customer.
Tesco? Yeah. It's not a bad person to be involved with, is it? In terms of they're the biggest supermarket, so...
No, they're the biggest. We've been supplying them for 50 years.
Yeah. Are you sole supplied to Tesco, or do they have more suppliers than you?
More or less. We will be in another sort of 12 months. We will be sole supplied. Yeah.
And is that their choice? That they've gone, right, what you do is brilliant, so we want you to be our number one?
Yeah, basically, and our commitment to them. Yeah.
So once they're packed, where do they go next?
Then go into the cold store, which we'll walk into. So this is obviously the loading bay. We've got 5 docks here.
Yeah.
So this is where the trays are unloaded and the
loaded up.
Full ones loaded.
Yeah. So how many trucks are you sending out a day?
Oof. I mean, it varies every day, but 25, 30.
Okay.
On a week like this. Christmas, up to 100 a day.
Right, okay. And you, right, so we travelling here, we try and avoid rush hour because it takes forever.
Yeah.
Are you trying to send it out first thing in the morning, last thing at night, or is it just When
just
the carrots
all day.
are ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Just that happening all day, yeah. So
Right.
we'll go through into the...
It's cold in here, Warren.
Yeah.
But it's quiet. Cold but quiet.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is coming out of there, you know, we talked about the machinery, but it's quite, it's like that, it's noisy, but...
Yeah, it's just a lot of machines,
Yeah,
and you get that background buzz, don't you, all the time. You know? So this is one of our cold stores, but this is what we have for Christmas, so it's switched off at the minute. We're just storing empty trays in it.
There's a lot of empty trays.
So this is the type of thing that we need, this is just for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon you get a stock car track in here.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Sound good, wouldn't it?
It would sound amazing. But it could be, like, you know, some people go, oh, what do we do? How do we, like, you know, branch out from our business just to make money, and you know, we're not using it? Absolutely. A stock, Sophie, stock car track. Yeah.
So these, we'll go through these are the cold stores that we're using at the minute.
Yeah. So what temperature are we at in here?
About 1 to 2 degrees.
It is like going to stock car meeting in March. It is.
It's like Buxton.
It's just like Buxton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there's a lot of stuff in here, Warren. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of carrots, a lot of parsnips.
Yeah.
I know, but this is nothing to you though, is it? This is like, oh yeah, this is my warehouse.
Yeah, it's a warehouse. Yeah, it's yeah.
But you know, when you're walking in, I didn't expect this volume, genuinely. And I'm guessing there's more around there.
There's more around there. There's another store around there, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't really know what else to say. It's amazing. So they've come from the packing, they've come into here.
Yeah.
So how long do they sit in here for before they go out to the customer?
Well, it could be, you know, anything up to 8-9 hours.
Right,
Obviously,
okay.
at weekend
That's not
it's
long.
maybe a bit longer, and then it's going out to customers.
So what are they? Right, what are those massive ones?
They're for processing.
So what does that mean?
So they're probably be going to be battened, or what they call coined, or so you know, if you buy a bag of battened carrots,
Yeah.
you know, that's where they'll be going.
So, right, okay, so yes, so when we go to supermarket, we sometimes buy carrots that are really small, that are ready to, like, already chopped and peeled and ready to go on. That's
that type of thing. Yeah.
Right, okay. But predominantly, it's mostly
fresh.
Yeah, fresh cut,
not prepared.
Yes, understand. And there's more.
Yeah, we'll go through here. There's another one in here.
Oh wow. Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. But I'm guessing you're going, well, it's nothing compared to Christmas when we've got that whole chamber in there full, and this is full. So
Yeah,
this
and
is
then we're site at Bisca. That's full at Christmas.
Right, okay.
So yeah.
Is that similar size to this one?
No, it's bigger than this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas is. It gets a bit frightening, really. When you see the stock we have, you know.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I've walked in here and gone, right, there's just so much, you know, I can't get my head around how much produce is sat in this building.
Yeah.
I like it how you're downplaying it, going, yeah, it's normal day.
Well, it's just what you get used to, isn't
yeah,
it? You know,
I get that.
It's people are surprised, like I said before, but you know, if you went to Walker's Chris or something like, you know, it's 70 million people take a lot of feeding.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive, really, really impressive.
Are you cold, yeah?
Yes, but I'm always cold. Well, thanks for the factory tour.
You're welcome.
Genuinely, I know I kept saying it, impressed with just what you guys are doing here. I know you see it every day, but I think from the outside of looking at it, super, super impressive.
Good.
My last question on it, we've talked about the carrots and parsnips coming out the field, going through the washing, get the stones out, straw off, but what's the most randomest thing you've found when you've fetched carrots out of the field and tipped them into your washers?
We've had a grenade before from World War II,
Okay.
hand grenade, which had I don't know. Anyway, it wouldn't blow, but we didn't know that at the time.
No.
You know? And we've also had a couple of detonators from bombs, just
Right.
a detonator. But of course, when you find these things and you're not sure exactly what it is, you're a bit more nervous. That
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Who do you send to go and deal with that?
We get the bomb squad.
Really?
That's who we've got. Yeah, to come and collect it and yeah.
But I suppose, as severe as that sounds, it must be. They've done that a few times before, because this is fields that
Well, it's just you're harvesting in fields all the time, and stuff can work itself to the top over years and years and years, and then you get it coming in a load of carrots or parsnips, and
Very exciting. Have you kept them in your office?
No.
Okay.
No, they always take them away.
Oh, damn it. Right, so fields where the carrots are grown. So do you guys own the fields?
No, we do own some land, but most of the land is we rent it for 1 year. So
right.
We'll find a farm or a estate, and then we'll move around that farm or estate.
Yeah.
Over probably 7 years, because really we only want to grow carrots on a piece of land 1 in 7 years.
Right. Okay.
To get the yield and the quality and so on and so on.
And so how far apart are I think it's Scotland outside? Do you get some in Scotland?
You're in the Black Isle in Scotland, just north of Inverness, and we're down as far as Suffolk.
Okay.
So yeah, full length of the country.
And why is that? Why such a spread? Just because of the availability of the land, or?
Yeah, I mean, availability of the land to some degree, but really, following the season.
Right.
If you look at daffodils, they'll come out in Suffolk weeks before they come out in Inverness. Okay. So the season is later in Inverness than it is in Suffolk. So you follow that season.
Makes sense. Right. I'm now invested in the life cycle of a carrot. So you put a carrot in the ground.
Yeah.
And how long from putting it in the ground until it's ready?
Well, the shortest time is probably 5 months.
Okay.
But the longest time it can be in is 12 months.
So who decides that? Like, is somebody checking it?
Nature, really.
Right.
Nature. Yeah. It's just it's nature. You've got to drill it. Really, January to sort of late May.
Right.
We're drilling, and then we're harvesting from June right through to the end of May the year after. Because of course carrots and parsnips are stored in the ground, not like potatoes or onions. Potatoes and onions, they're all harvested by, or most of them are harvested by, middle of November.
Right.
So everything's harvested out the ground, and all put in stores in big ton boxes, and it's in there all winter, and then they call on the potatoes when they need them.
Yeah.
But with carrots and parsnips, everything's grown, and then sort of by mid to late November, it's all covered in straw.
Right.
To protect it from the frost, and then harvested when we need it.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, because we've spoken a lot about demand, which is customers going, we want this amount of carrots, and I was like, where do you get them from then? But that makes sense then now. So they're in the ground, they're ready, you just pull them when you need them. Okay, I understand that.
So
good. I could do guided tours of your factory, I'm convinced of it now. I'm good, I'm fully up to speed. Right, let's talk stock cars. Simply, how did you get into it?
It was me and two of my friends. In a pub one night, and I don't know why it come about. Let's have a do at Bangor Racing. So we got a car and went to Barrow-in-Furness and Carnforth, Wharton, and we were all going to take it in turns, but that never happened. It was just me as the driver. So we did. I think we did a season, maybe a season and a half at that, and then decided we'd like to. Well, I did. I'd like to have a do in F1s, and so then we met with Paul Harrison and Willie Harrison, and sort of tagged with them really to for me to have a car. So raced with them. I'm not sure how long it was now. Probably 18 months, something like that, a bit longer, and then I decided to go on my own.
Yeah.
And carried on my own for a bit.
So, did you know about stock cars then before you kind of went?
No, I didn't really. I knew about banger racing, but no, I didn't really know. I'd never been to watch Formula Ones, didn't really know anything about it. And the first meeting I ever went to watch was at Skegness.
Right, okay.
And I'd never seen them before, and I can remember as clear as anything, stood on the corner of Skegness, and the race started, and the cars were coming towards me, and I stepped back, you know. I thought they were going to come through the fence, because it were like wire and rope,
you
know.
Of course.
So,
so why did you, so going from like sitting in the pub with your mates getting on race bangers, to then going Formula 1 stock cars, to then kind of linking up with sort of Paul and Willie Harrison, so how did that sort of relationship start, and how did you know them from before? Or?
Well, we didn't know. I mean, a friend of mine, Anthony Harrison, they have lorries, Harrison's Transport, and obviously Paul and Willie was the same, Harrison's Transport. So it was just through a silly connection like that, we just rung them up one day out of the blue, and it went from there. We got some sponsorship for them if they provided us a car. And before we knew it, that's it, we were racing, you know.
Yeah.
So it just seemed to fall into place at the time.
So how many seasons did you do with sort of Paul and Willie?
I would say it was 18 months, 2 years, I think, something like that.
And then did you kind of go, right, I know enough about them now, I'd like to do it on my own?
I just fancied it, you know, having a go at my own, because obviously when we were racing with Paul and that, we to go to Rotherham, and then we set off on the bus from Rotherham all the time, and then we went back to Rotherham, then you know what I mean. So it was, it was hard work in that sense, but I just fancied going on my own, and so me and Paul sort of parted company, and amicably, you know what I mean, no bad feelings or anything. And then I had 2 years on my own, I think, something like that.
Yeah. And did you build your own car? Did you build your own cars?
Yeah, I built 2. Well, Frank did the chassis on one for me, and then I finished that off, and the other one, I built myself. Well, with a chap called Carl Hewlett from Ingle. Yeah. Who was a mechanic that came with me, helped me a lot. Yeah, brilliant chap.
So it was quite you didn't stick at it, but it was 99, 94 kind of sort of racing career, which is quite sort of short, I suppose, in some. Yeah. Some people do like a season, some people do a meeting, and some people stick at it for years and years, and you're kind of somewhere in between. So, so what was the sort of stopping point?
I think, Will was due. Yeah. And, there were opportunities in business that I just thought I had to concentrate on it. Yeah. I wasn't tiring of the racing, but I thought the right thing to do was concentrate on the business, and that's what I wanted to do more than going racing. Yeah. So that's what I did. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got up to Reds. I know you used to race Reds. Best moment in stock cars for you personally driving? When I won the final at Boston, I would say. Lots of different moments, but I would say Boston. I love the track Boston. Yeah. Quite different Boston. It was rough, but I loved Boston. Yeah, it was good. But all the, a lot of the racing, the good time. Back then everybody used to go to the bar after. They don't now, do they? Or not many. But Coventry's and all that, everybody went to the bar after Long Eaton. Yeah. So no, they were
infamous, the Long Eaton bar, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was, yeah, it was brilliant. Wasn't
that put a smile on your face.
yeah. So, and then of course all the chippies after. Yeah. The chippy was as important as the bar.
I say the one at Coventry, that's like again infamous, isn't it? Everybody goes to the wherever that chip shop is in Coventry. So you stopped racing, Will was due, and then 20 years later, you're back racing with Will.
Yeah.
Were you glad to be back at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we'd done a lot of racing in, well, Will and Henry had done a lot of racing in karts, but I think we raced 6-7 years in karts through that gap, you know, and then we had a couple of years off that, and then Will wanted a Formula One, and I was a bit apprehensive at first, and went to watch a few times, and then he kept saying, I want a Formula One, and so anyway, next thing we've got one, you know, so...
we're like, here we go again.
Here we go again. yeah. And then of course Henry wanted one, and so back fully in it, 4 cars, and there you go.
Had it changed much in that, you know, 20 years is a long time, but you know, in terms of the evolution of stock cars, not necessarily, but had it changed much in your time away?
I think in that gap, I think everybody'd even themselves up on cars more, you know what I mean? When I raced, there was good cars and there was bad cars, and there were bigger variation, where, you know, now and when Will raced, I think it's more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
People don't always look at it like that. I mean, the general public, they think that's a supercar and that's not. And they get excited about money, but there's no, they're all good cars, really.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, and some of the money that's being banted about is, you know, I don't see it.
No.
I don't see that sort of money being spent on cars. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at the health of Formula One stock cars, you know, Will was in it, Henry was in it, and now we're back in it again with Lewis, sort of 2 cars, and you know, Lewis is wanting to do full season and go to Holland, and you're go with him at times. You know, I think stock cars at the minute just feel positive. There's people buying cars. You know, there's people wanting to be in stock cars, and it feels quite good at the moment. Do you see it like that? You know, or do you think it could improve?
I mean, we'd all like more probably spectators, you know what I mean? And you know, over the years from when I used to race, you know, we've not got as many spectators and fans, but you know, we need to keep working on that, and you know, make the facilities better and better as much as we can, you know. But people seem to be spending money on stadiums now and that, which you know is good to see, because I think that it's not just good for the public. I think it encourages drivers that, look, this sport isn't going to go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I think it's encouraging, and hopefully it's exciting times at the minute. You know, and there's a lot of keen people out there, drivers, fans, and you know, there's a lot of people having a good time at weekends because of stock cars. Because at the end of the day, that's whether you're a fan, you're a driver, you're a sponsor, whatever you are, you want to have an enjoyable weekend.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody's going to do it.
No, that's why you should factory into it. You're like, we stock cars, nobody to run this place.
Time to go.
But you're right, and I think sometimes we forget that stock cars is a hobby. Yeah. But I think it's a great community as well. I think people do enjoy going, and the socialising aspect of it is just as important as racing and watching. You know, like you meet up with people you don't see.
I mean, to be committed, you know, driving and being part of a team, it's tiring. It's very tiring, you know, because like, you know, if we race Kings Lynn, we're getting back 2-3 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Yeah. So you know, your Sunday's really ruined. You know what I mean? So, it takes a lot of commitment, and tiring.
It is tiring. Talking about travelling back from Kings Lynn, you've not long been back from New Zealand. That was a bit of a journey.
Yeah. That was a long one. Yeah. No, we enjoyed it though. We all went as a family. Wife and my daughter Grace. So no, we all loved it. Yeah, can't wait to go back. And we will be going back. Where when we set off, I didn't how we'd get on, but no, we absolutely loved it.
Good.
So can't wait.
Good.
Good people and good weather and lovely country.
Yeah. Do they grow carrots over there?
They do actually.
Do they?
Yeah. We called past. Yeah. Wow. Carrot land. Yeah. We took some photos of the car.
Right. I made that as a slight joke, but I'm now again invested in this slight story. So they grow carrots in New Zealand.
They grow carrots in New Zealand.
Do they grow them the same way?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why is there a carrot land? And why haven't we got carrot land here? Right, let's get involved.
That's something that I need to work on.
Well, I can work with you.
No, carrot land is it's like a little kid's carrot land. You know, the slides and Mr. Carrot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't say it's carrot land.
There's pictures of Lewis and his car up to carrot land. Yeah. Sophie knows all about it.
Is he making this up? Because I feel like you're telling me a story
no,
about
honestly,
you.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Sophie knows about it.
Yeah, but she could be on the story with you. Like, let's pull Jonathan's leg about Carrotland in New Zealand.
So yeah, it's good. So we went past it, so we thought, well, the mayor's team and Mark McCarthy and that thought, well, I wasn't actually with them. Right, we'll get the car out. Yeah. They call us the Carrot family, you see.
Yeah.
And we'll get the car out and take pictures of Lewis and this outside this carrot land. So
you keep saying it like you try. I'm going on Google in the car on the way home and double check it. And if it is true, I definitely think there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Next time we visit, we can come and do a grand reopening.
Yeah.
Listen, Maureen, thank you so much for your time today. I saw Will down there when I went to get my coat, and I'm like, you can come and talk to him in a minute.
Yeah.
So, but before we do, Will, thanks so much for your time today. Thank you for the factory tour. I found it absolutely fascinating. And we'll see each other at Stock Cars as the season progresses.
Right.
And I'll bring Carrotland ideas to how we can do.
I'll leave that one with you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers.
Take care. Hi, Will.
All right.
Yeah, very well. I've been on a very, very enjoyable factory tour with your dad.
Yeah.
He's very keen to show me around and was very informative. You were down the corridor. Wow, so let's talk to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, what do you do here, first and foremost?
So all the day-to-day running really now. So pretty much oversee the running of the company day-to-day. And then obviously working closely with my dad still.
Yeah.
It's still very much a family business, but I look after all the day-to-day, if you will.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I do actually. I enjoy coming into work. Definitely, 100%. It's a challenge in our industry. You're always battling against nature, but no, definitely enjoy it.
Good. Let's talk about Stock Cars. I think lots of people obviously know you, and you had like quite a long career in Bristol Formula One in some respects. You 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
It's great results and enjoy your kind of time in Stock Cars, I suppose. Question.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed my time doing it. When I finished, was I ready to finish, and was I enjoying other things more? Yes, I was, but no, the time that I did, I love it. I'll remember it forever. Whether it was nights in the bar or the racing or just meeting new people. Yeah, I'll definitely, they'll stay with me forever. So definitely enjoyed it while I did it.
You did great. I mean, I've got kind of the list of kind of what you've achieved in terms of shootout, World Final. You got 4th in 2019. You had some like great results, and you were always kind of up there.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, actually, I want to stay in, maybe get that title and get that kind of big win, or was it actually, I'm happy with what I've achieved in the time I did it?
No, I mean, I think as a family, but definitely myself, I don't go not to win. I always get, whatever I do, I want to win and I want to be the best. I feel like probably the last couple of years, because I was fading away with my interest a little bit, especially during COVID and after COVID, I probably got to the stage where I knew I wasn't going to be chasing titles because I didn't have the commitment, so they go hand in hand a bit. But no, it would have been nice to get a few titles. It would have been nice to get 3rd in the world final, and at least have a trophy in a world final. But would have liked the titles, but I was also relatively happy with what I did when I was racing. Yeah.
So 2021 was last season, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you did sort of September, Northampton.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Didn't race again. Was it? Had you decided before that? Like that's it, or was it like on the day going, I'm done, I'm not?
No, I think again, probably a year or so before that. I can't just remember when COVID was now, but during COVID or maybe just before, I started thinking about it, and then I thought, got through COVID, had another go, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So that was kind of the final decision that year. And
was it like, this is it, I'm done forever at that point? Where kind of I'm done. I'm not sure I'm done type thing.
No, I'm still pretty convinced that I don't want to go back full-time racing.
Yeah.
I think obviously Lewis has got a spare car this year, tarmac car, so I did say I might come out 2 or 3 times instead of just gala.
Yeah.
So doing the odd meeting still interests me, but going back full time, I still don't want to.
So touch on gala, you did 24 gala night, 23 gala night.
Yeah.
Won the final, 23, I think.
Yeah.
And I went to both, and I think, I remember you racing very clearly, because you were racing stock cars, you were proper getting stuck in.
Yeah.
Which is a bit different. Do you know what I mean? Yes, you've raced stock cars before, and I thought that's quite different to how you drove previously. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a mentality change with having the time out, and obviously just racing once a year. I'm not having to fix it the next week, and that driver that I've put in that week's behind me the week after. So maybe a little bit of that, but I think I always had the aggression and the confidence on shale personally.
Yeah.
I didn't quite have that on tarmac, where obviously at Gala you saw it a bit more on tarmac.
Yeah.
So, but I did think I had that on shale. But again, it comes with confidence. That aggression comes with confidence.
Yeah.
If you're confident in your lap times in your car, it just gives you that little bit more confidence to give somebody a good hit out the way and know that you've got the pace to then pull away.
Yeah.
So confidence is a big thing.
So on the back of Gala night, was that when you've kind of gone, there is that spare car there, I could go out a couple of times? Is that kind of what made you have that thought process?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously both the galas I did quite well.
Yeah.
Confidence is high in that car. I do quite enjoy driving that car. So 2 or 3 meetings a year, if I enjoy them, then why not do them?
And is that fit, because you are kind of busy here, aren't you? You've got a family, so that actually fits quite well in sort of hobby. It's a hobby, right? Lewis is kind of not doing it as a job, but obviously he's committed full season, race here and everywhere, which is right for him at the moment, isn't it? But for yourself.
Although I must say, when I stopped racing stock cars, I probably spent more time cycling.
Oh, right, okay.
I was up to like 20 hours a week cycling, so I probably spent more time doing my hobby after stock cars than when I was doing stock cars. So it's not always about the time and the family, or you do always have to balance that and work. It's more about what I want to do, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you see stock cars at the moment? How do you see them? Good, positive? Who's like doing well? Do you think who's going to do well?
I think BSCDA have come a long way in terms of whether it's with social media, whether it's with working with the fans and spectators to kind of understand what they want and focusing on that through a tough time where the industry's been losing tracks, which has been tough.
Yeah.
So if we still had Coventry today, it'd make the job a lot easier, and a few more tracks. Birmingham was a good track. So I think if it wasn't for the work that's gone in while we've been losing tracks, I think it would be in a much worse position.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of young drivers coming into it, especially this year. I mean, from what I've heard and the amount of cars being built, there's a lot. So that's good from a driver point of view. It's just focusing on that spectator, and it would be nice to get some more tracks back in. Yeah,
no, it would. And do you think Tom is still the driver to be this year? He's not raced. We don't know when he's going to race, because obviously car's gone to Catherine, hasn't it? And tarmac car sold. But do you think he is still the one to be, or do you think actually Nigel Green or Frank, or how do you see the season playing out?
I think Tom is like, if you compare it to another sport, Tom's like probably Verstappen, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the one that you expect to win. That doesn't mean Lando Norris or somebody else might not win this year, but I think he will always probably be the benchmark in the last few years anyway.
Yeah.
I think not just because of his driving talent, but his ability to build and set up a car as well.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see a few more people in the mix. I think Ryan's going to be back, is he, this year?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So hopefully he'll be pushing Tom a bit, and hopefully it'll be close. That's the main thing. If it's close, it's interesting to watch.
Of course.
If Tom goes every weekend and cleans up, it's good for him, but spectators probably want to see a bit more of a battle.
They do. Make it happen.
Okay.
When you're racing, you've got 3 meetings.
Just go and fire everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we said. Like, I got to look in my mirror because you won't be racing the following weekend, so you'll have forgotten by the time.
Lewis can fix it for the next 6 weeks, and I'll just turn up again in a few weeks. Yeah.
You did mention, and we all know, or we know, cars are being sold left, right, and centre. New cars are being built. Why is stock cars still attractive to people then? Because it does seem to be on a real uplift again this year. The last couple of years it has, but again, the car gets put for sale and it gets bought. So
I think it's a relatively easy sport to enter into. So if you go and buy a car and apply for a license, anybody can race. I think people enjoy the social side of it. I mean, I did 7-8 years of karting, and there was a social side. But karting for me, when I was doing it at a high level, was a very serious sport.
yeah,
So you was focusing on your fitness during the week, what you eat. You couldn't be over a certain weight.
okay.
So that was all very full on.
Yeah.
Where stock cars is probably a little bit more relaxed in that sense. So you don't have to be like 70, 80 kilos to race.
Yeah.
So. I think it's an easy sport to get into compared to some other sports. And again, we talk about probably how much it costs to get into stock cars. I think if you buy a relatively low budget car, you can be quite fast, and you do stand a chance. Where some of the formulas I was looking at getting into when I was hoping to progress out of karting, hundreds of thousands wouldn't even cover it.
Okay.
So stock cars again is relatively easy to get into.
Yeah. I think your dad mentioned it, and you have, around people talk about money in stock cars, but actually, it's not a huge amount when you look at what other motorsport is out there. Motorsport's expensive, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, it's whatever level you're racing at. And when you talk to some of the guys that have come in from circuits or other formulas, actually, it's not how it's presented. It isn't this like you've got to have a massive budget to go racing. You haven't got to have supercars. You can be competitive on a relatively low budget.
Definitely, and at the end of the day, with the stock car, you can build one yourself.
Yeah.
There's not many other formulas or motorsports you can do that in. So you can build one yourself. You can do it on more of a budget, and you can still be competitive. You see that in stock cars every year.
Yeah. Last question. We've been over and seen Lewis in his shed. That's where he lives, I think, over there now, isn't it? Do you go over very often? See what he's doing?
Every now and again. Not too much. Tend to leave him to it, but every now and again. I went. We're thinking of going testing next week to Skegness, so I just went to sit in the car, his new car, because I've not sat in it yet, because I'm going to go testing with them and maybe have a go out. So I just went to sit in it yesterday, but every now and again, that's about it.
And were you comfortable in this new car?
Yeah, it felt good actually. I did say I might borrow it this year. He said absolutely no chance you're not going to go in that. You can go in the one in the corner that's full of dust. So, yeah.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you very busy, and look forward to seeing you out on tracks a little bit more this year.
Yeah, all right,
Thanks so much.
super. Cheers.